Grab your wood pieces. It's another month of What Would You Make? I'm starting off with these round canvases from a set of 3. I already used one. I got these from Woodpecker's Craft. I'll be using 1.5 of these dowels. So what I'm doing now, I'm just measuring where I need to cut this one down into 3 pieces. And if you have not seen me review this Hardell rotary tool set, I will link that right here so you can check that out. But I'll be using this to cut the wood in the 3 pieces. So I'm looking for the spanner as well as the cutting disc, and I just unscrew where I'm going to be fitting the disc, place the disc down, and then put the washer back on top of that, and then beneath it, and then rescrew that. And I'm going to just screw that into the tool. But guys, if you need something to be done quick and easy, using this small cutting disc is not going to cut it. I had to just resort to using my miter saw to just cut the wood in pieces because this was taking forever. But anyway, I love this tool. It's very handy. I will link it down below for you just in case you are interested. I won't go into all of the details regarding the tool because I already reviewed it. You can check that video out when you get done, but I'll just show you what I'm doing as it relates to cutting the dowel into the 3 pieces. I ended up not cutting one dowel in 3 pieces because my pieces would have been too short, so I measured the distance that I wanted on one and then cut another piece from another. And then I also cut down 3 shorter pieces. If you have not realized what I'm doing yet, I am making 2 risers. So I sanded them down, and then just to make sure that the glue, when I'm gluing them down, that there is some grip, I use my X-Acto knife and just make some markings on the bottom of one end. And then now I'm measuring my distance as to how I'm going to be gluing on the legs. Here I started out thinking that I would glue them on the outer part of the wood, but then you'll see I had to change that further on. But now I took the sanding block and I'm just sanding down everything, and then I'm going to glue on the legs. So here, this is where I started out by gluing them down using some wood glue. And there you saw where I glued them on the outer side, but then it did not look too good, so I changed my mind. And now I'm working on the other side. I flipped it over and I'm gluing the shorter pieces on the base of the canvas. I don't know why they call it canvas, because I guess it's a canvas. I don't know, but that's what they call it. But these are going to be risers for me. And I glued on all my pieces first before I painted. It's always best to do raw wood to raw wood. You get a better hold with that. And this is the next night. There I am showing you where I had initially decided to glue them down and then changed my mind and put them on the inside. And this is for the smaller one. And then now I'm taking the drill again and I am drilling a hole into the base of the canvas straight through to the wood at the length of some small nails that I had, because I wanted extra support. I didn't just want to leave the legs like that. Now if you decide to recreate this, of course you can leave the legs because the wood glue would hold them quite strong, but I wanted to go a little bit further in ensuring that they are stable. Once I drilled the hole long enough where I could put the nails in, I placed them in and then just use my little handy dandy hammer and nailed them in further. Next, I use some caulking to just cover the nails. You can use wood filler, you can use spackle. I just grabbed whatever was closest and I'm using that. And I'm just covering the nails. And once I did that, now it's time to paint. I took the multi-surface folk art in camel and I gave it 2 good coats, both pieces, the inside, all the sides. And this is why it's best to glue down your parts before you actually paint, so you don't have to worry about gluing anything afterwards. And here it is, left it again for another 24 hours, and here I am the next day, or night per se. These stickers came from the Dollar Tree. I am just selecting these cute butterflies and I'm placing them on there. After I place them down, I realized that I placed the bigger one on the smaller tray, which would have been better on the bigger one, but that's okay. And then I took some Waverly White Wax and just gave that a good coat. And these are my risers, friends. Love them. Let me know what you think. Guys, know that this is What Would You Make, the playlist that only requires you using wood. And this is hosted by my friend Brenda from Rustic and Lace DIY and myself. And every month we have a new guest host. And this month it is none other than Cheryl from Farmhouse Frugally. You guys know the drill already. Links to our channels will be down in my description box below, as well as the playlist. I've had this hexagon tray. This also is from a set, and this is the smallest one, also from Woodpecker's Craft. And I had painted it before and left it sitting down. And now I'm going to be painting it again. I'm giving it a mustard color, so I'm mixing a little of the multi-surface camel with some apple barrel yellow. And I just eyeballed the mixture. And the downside to doing mixed paint like this in small amount is that if you run out and need some more, then the chances of you getting the same shade is going to be highly unlikely. Now I got this set of bee stencils from Amazon. I will link this in my Amazon store just in case you are interested. And here I'm just trying to decide which one I wanted to use or which one would be able to fit on the inside. So I selected this one, cut it apart, and now I'm fuzzing. You always want to make sure that you fuzz your stencils, especially when it's brand new like this, because if you put it down on your surface and it's not fuzzed, then you're going to be lifting up your paint. So I fuzzed it, placed it on the inside, and it looks perfect. So I took a piece of paper, and I'm just using that because I don't want my paper to be moving around when I'm using my paint. So that's why I taped it down. So now I'm taking a little of my black licorice paint, very pigmented, and my little homemade dabber, and I'm just lightly dabbing on the paint onto the stencil, making sure that I was not putting too much and spreading it enough. And this is what it looks like, guys, when I was done. I was not happy because the paint did not spread as much as I wanted it to, but I left it nonetheless. And then I took a black paint pen, and just to give this a little bit more pop on the inside, I went right around the base of the box with the paint pen and just to highlight that. And then for further embellishment, I took the paint pen again and then just added a few little spots, arbitrarily just putting them down on the edge of my box. And then to elevate this a little, I took one of these wood slices that comes in a bag from the Dollar Tree, added some wood glue as well as a little hot glue, glue that at the base, and that's going to be the stand. And then I just went all the way around with some Mod Podge to seal everything and to give it a finished look. And then when that was done, I made a small bow from buffalo check ribbon. Sometimes something just needs a little bow to finish the look. Now this is optional. If you don't want a bow on yours, fine. But I thought that mine needed a little bow, so I just made one, glued it at the top left corner, and this little decor is done, my friend. What do you think about this one? Now we're jumping into the next one. Now I didn't even realize that this is a Craft Your Stash Woodpecker's Craft video. All of these pieces are from Woodpecker's Craft, and I'm basically doing the same thing. Painted it with 2 coats of coconut milk, dried that, took another stencil and fuzzed, and I am going to be doing, I thought about doing it on both sides, but I don't remember what I did. But oh yeah, you'll see. Okay, now I remember. All right, so I started out with my stencil just like I did for the one previously. Fuzzed and stenciled on. I tried my little stencil brush and that wasn't working. And then I went back to my dabber and that wasn't going on as much as I wanted it to go on. And I just said, you know what, let me lift this and see what's going on beneath. And I lifted it and this is what it looks like. I think this stencil is kind of a rustic stencil. It's not made to be plain, but I just could not. I didn't like how it looked. So I painted that out, painted it over, dried it. I had this napkin, this bee napkin in my stash. Don't remember, I probably got this from Craft Away with May. And I decided to just decoupage this on there. So I painted it, and here I'm just applying some Mod Podge. Put the Mod Podge on, waited for it to become tacky, put on my napkin, and then just seal that with the heat press and parchment paper. And this is what I should have decided to do from the very beginning. But I wanted to look cute with my bee stencil. But my bee stencil wasn't working for me this trip. But anyway, I still had bee, right? Because my napkin is saying bees. Okay, so traded one for the other. So now I put that on and then applied some more Mod Podge to seal it. And now I'm taking a dry stencil brush and some Waverly Antique Wax to just distress the edges of my little teacup. And then to give it a little definition, I went in with the furniture marker and just gave a small border on the rim of the cup. And then I had this piece of ribbon. I just cut that down, folded it in two, glued it to the upper left corner of my cup. And I had one of these little bumblebees, glue that on there, and our little cup is done. Cute. Love this one too. Let me know what you think. And now for the final DIY. This one is not Woodpecker's Craft and it is so easy. I got this little honey dipper. I went to an event and got this little honey dipper, and of course this was gonna be in my stash. So I painted it with 2 coats of the yellow and then just went in between the grooves with some black paint using a fine paintbrush, which you could hardly see because after I painted the yellow over it, a little of it got in there and covered the black, but that's okay. When that dried, I took a piece of buffalo check ribbon and just made a little finger bow around my honey dipper, and this one is done. Guys, this is so cute. Let me know what you think about this one. And our Proverbs for today is Proverbs 23:13-14 from the MSG version. Don't be afraid to correct your young ones. A spanking won't kill them. A good spanking, in fact, might save them from something worse than death. And it's time for our final reveal. I am so happy with these, how they turned out. Guys, let me know which one was your favorite. Of course, my risers are mine. I am so surprised at how they turned out. And here I am just showing you how they can be used either by themselves, side to side, or together, displayed as a tier tray or just simply as a little tray by itself. Love these. Let me know which one was your favorite. And of course, thank Brenda for hosting with me and our guest host Cheryl. Make sure to check out Cheryl's channel. She has some good stuff, farmhouse and rustic and all of those things, as well as a playlist down below, always bringing you a lot of wood inspiration. And there you have it, my friends. Thank you so much for watching. I enjoyed crafting with you today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more creative projects like these. And tap that notification bell as well so you never miss an upload. Need more inspiration? Click right here for other fun DIYs. Happy crafting, stay safe, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye!